Okay, let's have a look at the skin file structure. The file structure for skins is very similar to the file structure for modules. It's just in the skin section instead of in the modules section. So we've got the CSS file, which contains all our CSS. A lot more in here for skins than there are for modules, because skins do the controlling of the whole system. The skins are the most important part in creating the structure of the community. If you want to change what features are open in the main part of the site, skins is where you do it. So the skins have got a lot more CSS files. All of this, the layout that you see is controlled by the skins and by the CSS. This grey background part here is let's have an open Firebug and have a look. Firebug seems to be getting a bit slow on this machine. Why is that? There it is. If we look at this stuff at the background here, that background, all of these, this block, the columns, the wrappers, the rows, all have CSS components to them. Callbacks. So if we look at the content, the content's all CSS controlled. So you take all the CSS away from it, away from a skin, and you're left with very little. One thing that the skins do have that is useful to know about is the fact that the admin users are able to override the CSS settings if you allow them to as a skin designer. So if we go into the admin control panel and take a look at the skin section. Skins, we're on the elastic skin right now. And style. These CSS files, all of these CSS files in here have a corresponding item in a drop down menu. So the CSS admin log, the CSS admin core base, if we have a look at that one, we've got a few different items there that the admin user is able to change if they want to. That ability is given to them from, where's this core base, there we go, is given to them from the skin designer with the help of these at title config block, at help, and then it's able to be reconfigured. So if we see how that corresponds to the title is the config block, float right, margin top 6, white space no wrap. Come over here, we can see the set of buttons to float to the right, i.e. create, delete and modify, and we can see that corresponds to this help section here in the CSS file. If you don't want a, so you can see right here, this one doesn't have a that doc block style of comment at the top, so it will not appear in the style section for the admin to be able to change. So if you want the admin to be able to change these CSS settings of the skin that you create, then give it a title and give it some help so that the admin knows where it is. Most of them have got it. Some of them haven't. H1 font weight bold, so it wants to keep font weight bold for admin, and that's not a setting that the admin can change unless they come into the CSS. And these divisions, core admin log, core admin menu, core admin modal, core banner, are separated like this, so that this style section of the admin panel doesn't get so overwhelming. You could put it all into one file, and then it would come out as one massive file that just kept going down and down and down and down and down, and could be a bit overwhelming. So it's separated out into different file names, core HTML, core images, core list, so that the admin doesn't have to look at too much at one point in time. There you go, little bite-sized chunks. So remember that when you're creating your skins, that this CSS is the place for the for your CSS to go. Images, likewise, all your different images for your skin correspond to the images section in the admin control panel. And by putting them in this IMG folder, it automatically makes them available for the admin to be able to change and update and override. We can see here that's the background image, which is this staticky overlay on a single color at the top. If the admin wanted to change those, they could do that, and that's by using IMG rather than hard coding your image, which is into any random directory that you might want to use. If you put them in here, that feature becomes available to the admin user. So be nice to your admin users when you're creating your skins. JavaScript, all JavaScript goes into your JS folder. That's where it's looked for. You can hard code it into your templates if you want to, but what Jamroom does for you is it gives the skin designers the ability to compress all of the JavaScript into a single file and optimize that file, which speeds up page loading times. Instead of having to load lots of different small JavaScript files for each page load, if it's all in a single file and the same for all page loads, then the browser can use its caching abilities to cache that JavaScript and have it online. So all your functions and things, it's good to put them in their compression system. Language, put your language file in there for your skin, and that corresponds to your language functions out here. So the admin can override those as well. And 404, the default page not found template. Changelog, same as the modules. As you change it, keep a record of your changelog so people can see what's changing. And you've got a couple and an icon for the skin. That corresponds to this icon here, and also on the info tab. When that loads. There we go, some screenshots in there too. The elastic icon. Okay, you've got a couple of PHP files in here for a skin config. Is all of the stuff for your info tab. And include. Include is where in your module's init file, this is where you tell it what CSS files you want. All of those CSS files we had back up here in the top in the CSS folder are all defined in the skins init file. So this is telling them register the feature. We've got a CSS file that we want to pick up. It's in the JR Elastic skin, and it's called core HTML.css. So all of these files here, all of these CSS files, will be picked up, combined, compressed, and made available in the skin at the runtime, and cached as well. This is all using the caching ability for CSS. Here's the caching ability for JavaScript, and the location it's looking for that is JavaScript gets looked for in the JS folder, and CSS gets looked for in the CSS folder. It looks like it's setting up some player skins there too, which are registering module features for particular modules, for the audio module, the video module, and the playlist module. You might or might not set your skins up for specific modules. This particular one is expecting that the audio module might be installed, the video module might be installed, or the playlist module might be installed, and building those features into the skin itself. So here we go, the videos and the songs. These would only be useful at all if those modules were enabled. If those modules weren't there, then there'd never ever be anything under these sections. Events as well, blogs, profiles. Profiles is always going to be profiles because it comes with the core. Right, so a bit more of the structure. We've got a header template here, a footer template here, which corresponds to the header of the of the site and the footer of the site. Can we get that footer in there? The footer of the site. So it's just common no matter where you go. You've got the same section across the top and across the bottom. If you go and have a look inside it, it includes it's requesting a file called meta, and the meta will be all of your HTML header section with a few smarty includes for different things that get output by the system. But basically, here's the header that's just designed. It's got a few conditional clauses, the smarty conditional clauses in there. If the JR search module is active, then show the search box. If the Foxy card module is active, then show something else for the card. To only show those if certain modules are active. These are built in by choice by the skin designer. Turn it to bugger off. Because they want to add extra features to their skin. Your skin can require certain particular modules to be enabled and built around if that's one of the features you want to have a look at. By default, the first place that the Jamroom will go to when it looks here is this index.tpl file. So what you want to include in there, you might not want to put a header and a footer. You might just want to have an index.tpl file and have different headers for every single page. Your choice. A header and a footer file seems to make sense to hold the skin design features together. But this page here is essentially the index.tpl file. If we go and have a look at it, it's the index.tpl file that's including the header. And then it's got its main section there, and then it includes the footer. So if we wiped all of this inside section out here, it'd just have the header and the footer and nothing else in between. The way the index is set up is it's looking for a list of the newest profiles, a list of site blogs, a list of events, a list of newest songs, a list of newest videos, and they are put into place by this very well used JR core list function. There's some documentation on that in the documentation section on Jamroom about all the different options you can do, but basically it is a way of listing all of the profiles, uploaded content. This is saying JR core list, get me a list of all of the module, the JR event module. I want them ordered by the newest ones first, and I want the output of the data that's returned to be formatted in the way that's specified in this index list event.tpl file. It'll be down here somewhere. Index list events. So this is how it wants to format all of the data that's returned from the database that are events that people in your system have inputted into their profiles, and you're just pulling that out to the front page to get a list of them. You could format this any way you wanted to. Back to that index. Where's the index? And same thing with everything else in here. Here's a list of profiles. Where's another list? Let's just find that. List of videos. Show the newest ones first. Only show 5. And only show them if there is an image, if the video has an image. So you can see all the different settings for these if you go to the documentation, where we might as well just go there. Documentation development. Yeah, cool, there it is. So you can come here for a bit more documentation, explanation, and all of the different options that you've got: modules, template, search, order by, group by, page, limit, return keys, search phrases, assign, page temp. There's lots of different options for that, for the JR core list. But if you just remember that it's a core function to go to when you're wanting a list of stuff from a particular module that people have uploaded to that particular module via their profiles. And these are just formatting ones there. Right, the other thing that you want to know about is the profiles. If we go here, this is the main section of the site. Let's use Jamroom as an example. Jamroom.net also runs on Jamroom JR5, so we can use the base installation, or we can use Jamroom as an example. There we go. Okay, that's my profile on Jamroom.net. But if we go back here, we're at the top level of the site running that index.tpl file here. And on that index.tpl file, instead of having videos and things, we've got a section explaining what Jamroom is, and download the Jamroom core. So you can develop it to look however you want. Here's a list that lists up a list of some blogs. Here's a list of some marketplace items, and here's a couple of lists of featured developers. Another section trying to explain what Jamroom is. Download some videos to show you, to explain to the new user to the site what Jamroom is and how it works, and some links into the deeper documentation. This is the front-facing forward template or forward web page of the community for the Jamroom.net site, and from here we'd expect the users to come and have a look at perhaps some of these links down here, download the documentation, or perhaps they want more information, and hopefully they'd come here to the support forums, which moves the user from the top level of the site into one of the profiles of the site. This is the Jamroom.net profile, and we're on the profile now. Actually, let's just grab another browser profile. Speckly white, start. Get that same view from a non-admin perspective. Here's what a user to the site would see if they weren't logged in. They can see that the Jamroom.net profile has blogs, documentation, forum, bundles, site, marketplace, issue tracker, and YouTube. From there they can browse around and see what this particular user's profile has to look through. When I'm looking at the same profile as somebody who controls this profile, I also see the Pages tab, but because there aren't any pages that have been created by the Jamroom.net profile yet, they don't show up to the non-logged in user. There's no Page tab because there's no pages to see. They only see the Pages tab if there's something to see there, and that's how you would create new things from the administration side of things. But as a skin designer, this is what you want to look at here: profile index. And from here you can design that front page to look how you want it to look. So profile, header, footer, the item details, menu. This is all stuff that the skin designers get to decide how they look. Okay, hopefully that helps understand a bit more about Jamroom skins.